Hi, Namaste, welcome to Magic Vibrations Healing School. My name is Damien and today I would like to speak with you about the power of water. Water, the magic of water, water and consciousness, how you can clear your water, how you can make it alive, how you can program it, how you can use it for healing. Water is one of my most favorite subjects. For many years I was giving workshops all over the world about water and I did study a lot. And I would like today to share this with you in this video. Water. Most of our body is made of water. Most of you are aware that 70 to 75% of your body is actually water. Water in your blood, water in your lymphatic system, water with your urine, your saliva, all your body fluids. Even a baby that is born has more water than a grown-up or than an elder. Yeah, the more we grow up, the less water we have in our body. We kind of dry out, we desiccate. A baby is all chubby and wet and soft, full of water. Your brain, 90% of water. That's why when you're not hydrated enough, you do have a headache, because you need a lot of water to allow all these electric impulses in your brain to function well. So we are made of a lot of water. You can already notice that there is a correlation, a connection between the amount of water in the planet Earth, which is about 70% of oceans and lakes and sweet rivers compared to the Earth, with the water in our body. There is an analogy here. Water is really important. It's a big part of the 5 elements that constitutes all reality and everything that we can perceive around us. We all know that if we don't have water, we eventually will die. We can live without food. We can fast for long periods and get weak but not die. With water, most of the human beings would die without water. This is why it's really important. Now, there's different kind of waters. Yeah. Of course, to walk in the mountain, find some spring and drink from spring water. You will drink alive, fresh water and it will energize you a lot. You will feel amazing by drinking this water. Yeah. As soon as the water is stored in plastic bottles, as soon as it goes to a tank, as soon as the water goes through pipes, long hose or pipes in straight lines, the water is losing one essential quality. How to describe this quality that it's losing? I would say it's losing its life force. Yeah, water likes to move. If you go to nature and you go to a river and you simply observe the water flows, the water moves, the water spirals, the water spins, the water curves, the water goes around the rocks, it flows and it moves and it moves and it moves. The water, when it's stagnant, it starts to rot, it starts to smell weird, algae start to develop, and it has a stronger smell, like if you have a pond in your garden, you noticed it, compared to a flowing river full of life. So water likes to move, water likes to be free, it likes to flow. Every time we imprison the water in something stagnant, in something fixed, like a jar, like a bottle, like a tank, hose, the water is losing this freedom, it's losing its life. Therefore, we can admit already that most of the water that we drink from mineral plastic water bottles or from the tap, it's dead. It doesn't have the life force that it has when it flows from a river or from a spring. So we would like to drink this alive water. Water communicates with all the waters of the world. Whatever water I drink, it will communicate with the water already in my body. Whatever messages I give to the water of a river, all the waters of the universe are listening to my words. That's why the water was always a portal into prayers, to bring, broadcast intentions, beautiful prayers to all the layers of the universe, to all the dimensions. That's why we have water ceremonies and water rituals. So, practically, I would love to drink alive water. So what is exactly alive water? Alive water is free, it's moving, it has life force, it's energizing. If you would see the quality of the spin of the electrons of the water molecules, it has a different spin when it's alive. As soon as it's stagnant and dead water, it has actually an opposite spin. So you have a difference of spin in the water molecules, the H2O molecules, the water will hold more life force. Water that is alive is usually cooler. The ideal temperature for water, where it can hold the maximum of its energy, is 4 degrees Celsius. That's why when you go to the mountains and you find a live spring water, it's always really cold, 4 degrees. Below this, it starts to become a kind of snowish. Even it will become like frozen. But at 4 degrees, it holds a maximum of its energy. We would love to drink live water. It's really hard to find a live water at home because you don't have a river flowing there. So how we could do? And what are the benefits of drinking a live water? If I drink a live water, first I'm well hydrated, I have more energy. My cells are really happy because 98% of a cell is water. It's the cytoplasma inside. What we call the zeta potential of cells is the ability of cells to communicate with each other. The more your cells are hydrated with alive, energetic water, the more they can communicate, the more they can exchange minerals, informations, electric impulses, magnetic fields of informations. So you want to have a high zeta potential. The high zeta potentials comes from alive water. In all the traditions, water was so important and people understood that it was important to drink a high quality of water. How to drink the best water? First, you will have to filter the water. We live in a weird world where water is poison. We live in a world where the tap water is full of chlorine, fluoride, other heavy metals, where water has sometimes a lot of feminine estrogens hormones because the water comes from the ground, and in the ground you have a lot of fertilizers and things from the agriculture. So you will need to remove all these poisons. Yeah? There is no magic yet to remove the physical presence of poisons. We have magic that can neutralize the harmful effect of poisons, but why not to remove them physically from the water? So first you will have to filter the water. To filter the water, let's say you're in the jungle, you're in the desert, you find nice spring water, you still want to filter it. To put it in a transparent vessel on the sunlight, it's already something good. The natural ultraviolet sun rays from the sun will clear it in a couple of hours. If you had some clay that you will find as well in the nature, like in a pond you find some clay on the bank of a river, you could take this clay, throw it with the water, shake it, let it sit, and after 2 hours the clay will absorb the toxins and it will sink down and you just can drink the water above the clay. If you live in a house, you want a good filter. At least a reverse osmosis filter. The reverse osmosis filter, it's probably one of the most affordable filters. It will remove everything that is not a H2O molecule. It will remove heavy metals, poisons, viruses, bacteria, and so on. The thing is, after clearing your water with a reverse osmosis, you have complete dead water. Yeah. You removed everything that makes it alive, everything that gives water a story, everything that gives water benefits, yeah, because you removed everything, as well the minerals, the magic of it, or the love. You removed everything. The water is completely depleted, clean, but depleted. You have more fancy filters these days. I don't want to advertise any. You have filters that are clearing the water, resetting the memory of it, that we will speak soon about, and then even energizing it. Yeah, you have fancy water filters that do everything. Niken from Japan is a great company for it. You have other ones that are using either Marcel Violet systems of beeswax condensators. You have as well other ceramic, far infrared ceramic system that will make the water alive. And you have vortex magnet systems. You have a lot of different ways. A basic filter will at least remove the poisons, which is really important. Now, the second point that is really important is that water has a memory. We do know that water has a memory. This is a technology that is used in the tires of your car. When the tires change their shape because they heat up, to curve, to modify their shape when your car is going through a curve at high speed, and then it will find back its original shape. This is using the technology of water memory. Since Victor Schauberger in the 1930s, an amazing engineer from the forest, from Austria that was working and observing nature, the vortexes in water, and how the salmon fish could go back up to the river, back to where they were born, to lay their eggs. And he could see that the water had all this miracle of anti-gravity vortexes. We do know that water has a memory. What's the memory of water? It's really simple. Go to a river, spot a rock that is going out a little bit of the water. Yeah? See how the water is deflected and goes around. Remove the rock. You will see the water on the surface will still go around the rock, although the rock is gone. You removed it. But for a few days, the water will go as if the rock was still there, because it has a memory. The memory of water makes that the water will remember all the poisons that it had been connected with, even if you clean the physical poisons. So after reverse osmosis of the water still remembers all the memories of the poison. If it had chlorine, fluoride, and here I'm not to speak about the poisonous and the harmful effect of these things. You can see many other videos. I deeply invite you not to absorb chlorine and not to absorb fluoride, mostly if you want some spiritual awakening in your life. And not for your children, please. Allow them to grow up free from these poisons. So how can we remove the memories of the poisons of the water after filtering the water? So then, to find this, I went back to nature. I went to look at rivers. I went to see and to observe how a river is behaving. And I remember I was in India looking at the Ganges, Mahaganga, the great sacred river, and I would see this huge vortex spinning, appearing suddenly. Huge vortex spinning counterclockwise, because we're in the north hemispheres here. Counterclockwise, spinning, and then disappearing, reappearing somewhere else. I was intrigued. I was fascinated by these vortexes. Eventually, I understood that it was a way of the water to clear its memories, to reset all the energies that was going to the river, and to bring it back to zero, to neutral, to release and let go of the energetic charge of it. So, when you take a vortex, and you always see this kind of spiraling vortexes, spiraling in the water, you always seen them, and they appear and they disappear. If you can flatten it, you will end up with a spiral. This spiral has a really specific proportion. This spiral is following Fibonacci sequence. So what's Fibonacci sequence? You probably heard about it. I will remind you. It's a mathematical sequence found in nature of divine expansion. It's 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, and so on. Yeah, every two digits, 0 and 1, are added together to give the next one. 0 and 1 makes 1, 1 and 1 makes 2, 1 and 2 makes 3, 2 and 3 makes 5, 5 and 3 makes 8, 5 and 8 makes 13, 8 and 13, 21, and so on. So it's expanding exponentially. This is found in many geometries of the flowers of the trees. It is found in the implantation of the spiral on your head, in your fingerprints. It is found in the energetic field of the earth, of crystals. It is found in flowers and trees, and in many different things that you can study in biology and physics. So when you flatten a vortex, you have a Fibonacci spiral. So I was thinking, yeah, how can I use this to make the water alive again? In my studies, I understood that you don't actually need to experience something really physically in all its aspects to have its effect. Sometimes a picture of something has the same impact on a reality than the real thing. That's how homeopathy works. Homeopathy is taking an information, diluting it. At the end, you don't have the physical presence of the things that you started with, but the energy, it's more potent. A flower essence elixir. A flower essence elixir captures the essence of a flower and it brings it in a liquid. You don't actually need to kill and cut the flower to get and make this essence, this flower essence. It's about information. The water is the most sensitive things to informations. So I thought that if I would bring a Fibonacci spiral in contact with the water, then the water would behave as if it would go through a Fibonacci vortex in a river. I was looking for different shapes. Eventually, I ended up with the most common one, and the one that became famous and famous among the years, the flower of life. You all know how a flower of life looks like. So the flower of life do contain Fibonacci. Flower of life, it's of course bringing life, it's many these interlocked circles. It was found in many bathtubs in Greece, in China, in Egypt, in India. It was carved in the pool or the bathtub, in spas and like bathing areas. So they knew that the flower of life had a beneficial impact on the water. So what happens if I do filter my water from physical poison and I take a flower of life that could be printed, that can be like a sticker, like something that I print and laminate. It can be really cheap. Google image flower of life, print, laminate. And then you put the glass of water on the top of this flower of life. Then the water that is so sensitive will receive these informations, will start etherically to spin counterclockwise, following the Fibonacci of the flower of life. So the water molecules, although the water is not moving physically, will spin. As it spins, it will release in the divine void all the energies that are not pure life. It will release everything that is not useful. It will reset the water to its optimal neutral state. Then the memories of the poisons are gone. Really important. Fibonacci, a flower of life, you can find other shapes that are beautiful. As soon as a shape contains a spiral based on Fibonacci, it will work. Yeah, you as well have other symbols that could work. Make your own research. But the flower of life is the most simple, the most beautiful, and it works really well. After doing this, after resetting to zero the memories of the water, you may want to energize it. You're probably aware of the work of Masaru Emoto from Japan that took these photographies of water crystals. And for every different intention, every different information that the water was in contact with, the crystals would be different. Like snowflakes. Snowflakes, we learned at school that every snowflake is unique. It's the same for the water. So if I take water and I take drops and I put them in petri dishes from a lab, I put them in a freezer and I freeze them. I open the fridge, I remove the box, the petri dish with a drop of water, which is an ice drop. My lab is at about 4 or 5 degrees Celsius, so it's really cold, so the water will slowly melt, not too fast. And I have a microscope with a black chamber photographic apparatus. I observe the petri dish, the ice, frozen drop of ice water melting. As it melts, this water will create a crystalline grid. It will have a shape. According to the intention that was put in the water as it was freezing, the water will have a different shape. So you have shapes of harmony when the water encounters harmonic, let's say love, gratitude, beauty, dolphin, thank you in any language, whatever beautiful words, it will have a nice, usually hexagonal shaped crystal. When the water encounters more negative oriented words like I hate you, or different kind of disharmonic words or music or pictures, the water will be blur. Even if I take 100 drops with the same I hate you, I will take 100 pictures, no one picture will reach a beautiful shape of crystal. So Emoto started to show us that our thoughts, our emotions, whatever things were around the water would impact the water. When I drink this water, the water in my body receives the same message. So careful. Careful to the words written on your t-shirts. Careful to the tattoos. Careful to whatever information is around you in your room. When you have a poster in your room, let's say saying, I'm sick, and I'm not sick, but somebody has a poster saying, I am sick, Every time you look at it, you're telling to the water inside your body that you're sick. This is probably not what you want. Awareness, brothers and sisters, this is really important point. We think it doesn't matter, it doesn't have an impact on us. The water is a mirror of consciousness. It receives all these informations all the time and it's changing. Be aware of how harmonic, useful the informations are around you, within you, on the clothes you wear, on your jewelry, on the books you read, the movies you watch, the things you hang on your walls. The more harmony, the more joy, the more beauty, the more your water becomes beautiful, harmonic, and the more you're healthy. So once you removed the physical poisons and once you remove the memories of it with the Fibonacci flower of life spiral, you may want to add the words to your water. You may write down in any language, thank you, I love you, beauty, divine, whatever words you like, health, concentration, good memory, grounding, whatever you wish. As well, you could put crystals, beautiful crystals that either could be soaked in the water to energize it or just can stand next to it. And all these beautiful informations will boost the water. The water loves music. You have some music that the water like more than others. Every music that is harmonic, coming from a spirit of love, from the heart, any medicine music, classical music, music speaking about expanding your light, the water will enjoy it, will create beautiful crystals. As you will drink this water, your own water will become full of light and love. So these are for me the three main parts. Remember, you have to filter the water physically. Mostly if you live in a city, in a civilized place or uncivilized place. If you are not living outdoors next to a spring in the mountains. Then you want to reset to zero all the memories of the water, flower of life, in contact, on your water tank, on your tap, on the water bottle, on the water filter itself, in your shower, everywhere. Then you want to boost it. Yeah? So put colors, crystals, shapes, whatever symbols you like, the magic, whatever you put in contact with the water you drink, it will go within you and you will become it. Whatever you drink, the information that you drink, you become this information, you radiate this information, you broadcast this information. Everything around you becomes tuned, resonating with this intention. So be aware, choose well. Yeah, feel with your heart what is the right thing for you to play with the water. These are the three main steps. Now, few other things that you may want to consider about the water. How to use water for healing. So if I have clean water and alive water, I mean water with the flower of life on it in a bottle, water that received a lot of gratitude, healing words, prayers. The more your prayers come from the heart and not from the mind, the more the water will receive it. You could use magnets to create a vortex, like rotating magnets, like you have in a lab with these magnets that is spinning. You could use as well colors, light language if you're used to light language, and this water will contain more magic. Yeah. Then now you could program this water to have a specific effect. For example, in your garden, let's say you have a garden, you grow tomatoes and your tomatoes are having some difficulties, you may want to program your water. To program your water for the tomatoes, you could, for example, write down a sentence, oh, the tomatoes of my garden located in this city, this village, are growing well, easily, gently, and quickly, and bearing a lot of delicious fruits or nutritious fruits. You write this intention of a piece of paper. Yeah? The water usually prefers lead pencils than big pens. Yeah, the pencil, the graphite. The graphite is conducting more energy. So if you write it down, this intention, and you put it on the water, yeah, you could surround this intention with a circle, or even few concentric circles on a sheet of paper that you draw with a compass. In the middle, you write this intention, and you put the bottle of water or the bucket of water or the glass of water there on this intention. And then you send your love. From your heart, you ask Source to bring divine blessings to this water. You ask the energy of the earth to come from the center of the earth inside the water. You visualize this spiral of love dancing in the water from your heart. You feel that this water is healing your tomatoes. You picture your tomatoes happy, growing strong, big, giving you beautiful red fruits, profusion of it. Then you take this glass of water, pour it in the watering can, and then you water your tomatoes. Now, your tomatoes are receiving an amazing information of healing, joy, blessing from earth, from source, from your heart, and it will have an impact on them. Yeah. You could use it as well for simply spreading the water in a room and asking for purification. You can create a water specifically to bring more concentration in your children. Your children are studying, they have difficulties to concentrate. You can write good concentration or the name of your children. They concentrate and focus and memorize well as they are studying. You put yellow color for clarity. And again, you would make this in a circle, like concentric circles to define, localize the energy. You would put a bottle of water in the center and ask them to drink from it. Yeah, obviously all of this can be done through emanation. You just can visualize it, emanate it. It does require you to have a strong focus and an ability that your psychic energy can go through with your thoughts in physical objects. That's why I recommend at the beginning to do it physically. Write it down, put the colors, color it, print it, and then use something physical to inform the water. A lot of other objects can help the water. So we spoke about crystals, orgonite. If you know what's orgonite, orgonite is a blend of polymer resin with metal shavings and crystals and copper coiling. Orgonite has an amazing effect with the water. Different symbols will make the water more alive. All the kind of beautiful symbols for the shapes. Okay, if you would still be in the old days and you would build a water tank, if you would choose the shape of an egg, exactly the proportion of a chicken egg, but big, the egg shape is the only volume that maintains the quality of life and maintains the water alive. Why? Because to give life, to give birth to a baby chick, you need a volume, and nature created a volume where the water remains alive. So the egg shape is actually the only volume that maintains the quality of life force, joy, and the transmission of life of the water. So even if you keep it stagnant, it will keep the energy of life. You have many things you can do with water. You can ask the water for healing. My invitation is be aware. Every time you drink water, go to your heart, offer gratitude, put the words, whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to heal, but at least gratitude. Water is not to be taken for granted. Yeah, there are places in this planet where people don't have water to drink. I've been there. I lived in Africa. We had to walk 20 kilometers to get the water that was muddy. It was really, really hot there. You would just reach the water, you would drink, you would go back home. Half of the water you would have to drink because you were so thirsty. So respect the water that is around you. You open a tap, you have water, be happy, be grateful, celebrate the water, clear it, put all your love in the water, put it with a flower of life to reset the negative memories and drink it with joy and celebration. Remember, the water is an embodiment of the divine feminine. It's an embodiment of the divine mother. When you respect the water, when you embrace the water, when you feel the love that you have for the water, you're telling to the Mahashakti, to the divine feminine energy of the universe that you love her. Water brings flow, brings creativity, brings abundance, brings life. You want more life, more abundance? Change your relationship to water. Thank you for listening to Magic Vibrations Healing School. If you want to check for more free or paying classes, please go on my website www.magicvibrationshealing.com. You can as well write us an email at magicvibrationshealing@gmail.com or to find us on Facebook, Magic Vibrations Healing. Thank you for listening to us. Have all a beautiful day. We love you, we honor you, we respect you. Om.